What's up, my brother?
Welcome.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Reno, man? I'm happy to be here. You know, God is good. You
Man,
know,
without a doubt, man. We happy to have you here, man. It's like, when I bring the Nipster into the building, man, it's just like when murder is hit, it's just family, man. It's just my brother. So,
all the
but
time.
we gonna get in depth with it because we want to take the people places that they have never been into the mind of Gangsta Nip, Psycho Nip, Brother Nip. We gonna interview all of y'all tonight.
How are you doing? Hi. How are you doing? Hi.
Kill.
Hi.
See, that's all of them. They all in here at the same time, man. I want to start off with the first question, Nip. What was your beginnings in rap and hip hop? What was your origin? What got you started and hooked on the whole hip hop thing back in the days?
Well, I would always listen to Ice-T. Ice-T is my idol for those that don't know. And, he was just coming, he's the creator of gangster rap. So he would be saying things in 83, 84 that people just wasn't saying at the time, and it was so hard over hardcore beats, over rock and roll beats also. So, I was just hooked on the hardness of the rhyme because I had never heard anything like that. He called it the crime rhyme,
Right.
but the industry called it gangster rap, just like I called horrorcore rap psycho rap,
Right.
but the industry called it horrorcore rap. And that's basically where it started with the my influence.
So
Ice-T.
so Ice was the catalyst, man, that sparked the Nip seed and got it going. I know for a fact, like back in the days, man, we talking about 84, 85, man. This one Nip had the Kango tilted to the side, man, and was terrorizing the streets, man, terrorizing Jones High School, and you and Cat and all those guys. I said it. I always had to just bow down and testify that Jones had the hardest rappers at the time because the list was so long, and even though you was just starting, you was still at the forefront because you all ever since from the first time I saw Nip, I'm like, man, this dude just got so much confidence and fire about himself. You always believed in yourself. And that's something that you always had before rap, or you just when you realized you could go hard, you just like, man, I know I'm that dude.
Well, Reno, on the real, man. I had great legends in front of me like Klondike Cat, Savoir Faire,
Man.
Murder One, AC Chill, rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
K-Rock Def, man, Martini.
Right.
You know, we had
KB Rock.
KB,
Man. Yeah.
KB Rock, man. We had killers at Jones.
Yeah,
and,
no doubt.
At that particular time, if you was from Jones, you had to be hard, or you wasn't gonna survive. Murder One was the Don King back then, so.
No doubt.
If you wanted to battle, you had to go through,
Yeah, no
Murder
doubt.
One.
Yeah, no doubt. His hair wasn't like Don King, but yeah, he was on some Don King, man. Okay, well, let me go into this real quick because I think this is the question. This is the question that I think that everybody really wants to know. How did, like you say, we call it psycho style, but for the people to understand what we're talking about, we'll use the term horrorcore. How did you develop that? What was the first day that style sparked in your mind and you wrote a rhyme in that style, man? How was that born?
Reno, honestly, man, people ask me that all the time on the real. I think that it comes from my mom, man, because my mom, Squeak, shout out to Squeak,
No
Squeak.
doubt.
My mom used to wear, she told me she used to wear all black. People used to, think she was kind of crazy because she was gothic.
Right.
way back then, and I guess she just had that aura about herself because she told me when she had me, she was experiencing energy when I came out and she was holding me in her hand. She said she was experiencing like electricity. So
Right.
that's why she named me Rowdy.
Right.
My first name. She said that this one here would raise Hell.
Hmm.
So and then I was hanging with Cat. I was hanging with Savoir Faire. I was hearing them brothers destroy people.
Right.
You know, so I just didn't want to be like everyone else. I
Right.
wanted to just create something different, not knowing that it was already in me to create that difference. But I was always listening to Ice-T at the same time, so I knew that I wanted my rhymes to be real, real hard.
Right.
But I didn't want to copy him. So just kind of like an extremist, man. Just took it to the extreme. That's what it was.
Man, you definitely took it to an extreme, the farthest of extremes. Because because just like you said, it was gangster rap, but I wouldn't categorize you as gangster rap because it was beyond that. Gangster rap is drive-by shooting and jacking and they talking about selling dope and all, but your style is beyond that, man. You in some other dimensions of mayhem and destruction that people had never even fathomed at that time. And I can just remember back in the days when me and you started hanging out, and we would go, and we'll get into the battle, but I'm gonna skip to get to after that. We would hang out and we would get on the metro bus and we would go to the malls and different places, go to talent shows and all that. And when we was battling these dudes, just the look that would be on people's face when you was spitting your rhymes and the look on the guy's face that you was going against, nobody had ever heard nothing like that, and they hadn't experienced themselves getting slashed in that fashion. So that was just innovative to me, man. And at the time, we talking about 80s up into the early 90s, man. Nobody was doing this, man.
But Reno, like you said, we hung together. So, nobody could, top your lyrical style. They can't top it right now, either. It's just the fact that I just think that I hung with the right people. Reno, you have to understand. I stayed at your mom's house.
Right.
I stayed at your father's house.
Right.
I stayed at Klondike Cat's grandmother's house. I stayed at Lil Fry's mom's house.
AC.
I stayed at AC's house. Yeah. So you have to understand. I have a piece of each one of you guys. All wrapped up. In one. So I was just always around hard cats because y'all was already seasoned.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When y'all did the COD, remember we was the dancers, me and AC Chill.
Right.
So y'all was already seasoned.
Right. But y'all was coming up in the wings because like say, even during those times, we used to have those sessions. We had those rap sessions behind the scenes, and I can just tell you, like, if it was like we in the studio right now, we're in a radio station right now. There's cameras everywhere. If we had that back then, some of the ciphers and the rap sessions that we had, man, that stuff would be gold right now, man. But still sharp and steel is basically, man, because everything you saying, I reciprocate the same phrases because we all got better behind being around each other, man. I definitely got better being around you and Cat and Blank and AC and all the crew, man. So it was a beautiful thing, man. Let me ask you about. We're gonna take it up to the Rap A Lot years. How did you end up getting on Rap A Lot Records?
Man, first of all, I have to shout out to Scarface, man. It was Scarface who actually discovered me. Scarface, we was at Club Infinity and they was having rap contests every week. So I remember I won like three 3 in a row, and the third rap contest, Scarface just actually, you know what I'm saying, have to be, he was there.
Right.
So after I won, he told me, hey, I'm gonna let Lil J, you know. Back then we was calling him Lil J.
Right, right, no
Not
doubt.
Jay Prince, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I call him the Godfather. Shout out to Jay Prince and the Rap A Lot family.
No doubt.
So Scarface, you know, asked Jay to come see me the following week. So when he came to see me, you know, he asked me, I won again, just by the way, you know, and he asked me to rap for him in a little small restroom that the club Infinity had. So I was just in there by myself with Lil J and a bunch of you know, the soldiers, you know, around him, and I was just going hard, just straight raw, you know.
What was Jay's reaction when he first heard you spitting that psycho style? What was, you know, cause Jay a laid back dude. He just be chilling, you know, his demeanor don't change, real stoic. What was his reaction when the first time he heard 2, 3 or 4 bars in? What was he doing?
Well, let's just, you know, like I said, shout out to Jay Prince, but you have to understand, when you see Jay Prince, what is your reaction? You know what I'm saying? You know, when you see Jay, man, you have to, you know, you just have to recognize greatness, man. You know, he was great back then, Reno.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he always had that presence,
That
man.
presence, yeah.
You know,
no question.
this was a Friday night, man, Reno. You know, after I won, you know, I rapped for him. Then the very next day, he told me to meet him at Club Infinity's parking lot at 12 o'clock. And then put it like this, you know, I caught the bus up there, and I left out in a BMW. Put it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I owe, you know, first and foremost Allah, but you know,
No doubt.
Jay was the vessel that Allah used to you know, to come get me. So, you know, I'm still grateful. I still have my Rap A Lot tattoo. I'm Rap A Lot for life, you know what I'm saying?
Alright.
So,
But you know, and then that it's interesting too, man, because I always make it a point to let people know. You know, me and you, we done had these conversations before, and you always like, nah, you know, man. But when Nip signed to Rap A Lot Records, that was the whole South Park Coalition's first platform, worldwide platform, because he was the first guy out of our clique, out of the South Park Coalition, to sign on a label that had worldwide distribution like that. So when he signed, he featured us on his records. So that was the first time people outside of the hood had heard me. The first time people outside of the hood had heard Point Blank and Dope E on the Rough Brothers from South Park song. So what that did was it would build an anticipation for our albums, because okay, them the dudes we heard on Ganxsta Nip's album. So we always gave Nip those props and gave him that gratitude for featuring us on his project and putting us on shelves in Canada, shelves in Europe and different parts of the United States of America. So that was something that, regardless if you want to be humble about it and have humility about it, we still have to, we got to force that credit on you for that. But during those Rap A Lot times, man, you know, once they kind of got wind of you, then eventually you ended up writing the Chucky song for Bushwick Bill. Now, to give a little backdrop for people who may be younger, or people who may not remember, the older audience, they definitely remember. Y'all know how popular that song Chucky was that Bushwick had. Nip is the man who wrote that song. And I can just remember how the city was on fire during the time when that single was out. That's why Murder laughing, because he banned witness.
Yeah.
What was that time frame like, and how did that situation come about where they reached out to you and say, hey man, we need you to put this down for Bushwick?
well, you know, first of all, Reno, I like to appreciate. I really thank you for giving me my you know, the props, you know, of the SPC thing. You know what I'm saying, helping. You know, not forgetting my people, make sure my people, you know, was on the album, because you know, Jay Prince asked me to go solo, because what people don't know, you know, I had a CD, you know, we had a CD,
Right.
and I gave Jay Prince the CD,
Right.
and he was listening to the CD, but he he said, well, no, I want you solo. I
Right.
guess he said that from the experience that he had with me in the restroom rapping.
Right.
So, I just want to, throw that out there. But,
Yeah.
I'm SBC for life. I ain't going nowhere without,
Nah.
without the brothers, But the experience, when Jay Prince come to you and ask you to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To write something with
Right.
Bushwick, what you gonna say?
You gonna go right in there right now.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Man, Jay asked me to write it, man. Write something for Bushwick. And what happened was, they had a beat, and I just we went to Galveston. Jay had rented a beach house.
Right.
Me, Bushwick, and a couple of other people. I think Seagram was there too. And we were just in there, and I just wrote it. I wrote that in a Galveston beach house. You know what I'm saying? So it just came out like that, and Bushwick, was able to say it, in a way that, you know what I'm saying, that electrified people.
Yeah,
So, really, I was really grateful because I got a gold and platinum plaque on the wall for writing Chucky, and I got a nice little piece of, change off that too. So, I thank Jay Prince again for even asking me, to even write that, real talk.
And see, and that's what I'm saying. See, it's like we have to make people aware of those kind of accomplishments, because at the end of the day, it's only a handful of artists that are from the city of Houston that can actually say that they have a gold plaque or they have a platinum plaque. It's a lot of people that have come through the city. Of course, the Ghetto Boy, of course, people like Flip and guys like that. But at the end of the day, man, you part of our circle. So we take pride in the fact that, okay, well, you know what, we got a plaque in the family too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So all of those things, man, are not to be taken lightly in terms of when you start to view your legacy and to view your place in historical content in this city and in this game. So we want to make sure, because a lot of people might not have knew that. A lot of people may have not known that you wrote the song. They may not have known that you received the plaques for it. So people got to know, man, that Ganxsta Nip is here, and he's still doing what he doing, man. What was being on Rap A Lot? We'll go into Rap A Lot this one last question, because one thing I know about Rap A Lot, what it did for the artists on the label, but also for even people like us who wasn't on Rap A Lot but was starting up labels, it gave us a picture of that freedom as an artist to do and say whatever we want to say without a record label watering us down. So, and if you heard the first Nip album, it's no other great example than that. What was it like to have that creative freedom?
Well, Reno, when you ride with, Jay Prince and, the Rap A Lot family, man, you can say what you want to say. Jay wanted strong artists. He wanted, different artists. He didn't want the same type of, artists. So, when he heard me rap, and he asked me to be a part of Rap A Lot, and, I was honored with that. You know what I'm saying? I was just a young cat that's, in the hood, just broke. You know what I'm saying? So he put dollars together. He put dollars in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Off the muscle, man. I'm gonna tell you, people be saying things, trying to, say things about Jay Prince, in front of me. I don't let to talk about Jay Prince in front of me, because every time I ever went to Jay, he never refused me of any money.
And I remember them days, man. I remember them days you telling me about it. You said, man, I need to call Jay. The things you did, the records you made, the South Park Psycho, Psychic Thoughts, all those albums, Psychotic Genius. The great thing about you and a lot of artists that came from our clique, but in the city of Houston in general, all these units, because we talking about, y'all have to flash yourself back to the times where there was a record store on every corner, where actual cassettes and CDs was actually selling. This was pre-internet, this was pre-downloading and streaming and all that, where people would go into the record store and purchase a CD. Nip is selling tens and thousands and hundreds and thousands of units with no radio play. How in the world is that possible, bro? when everybody has this perception. Shout out to Black Cat just walked in the building. When everybody has this perception that, man, you got to get on the air. You got to get on the air. But yet you selling all these units underground, no singles, no video, no radio play.
Sometimes I wonder myself. I just think, Reno, man, that I just think God just gave me something that it was just so far to the left that nobody else could do it. You know what I'm saying? And these other cats that try to do it now, they still can't do it.
Right.
They don't really. They're not vivid enough. That's because they didn't live it enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're not intricate enough to do it either, man. That's in my opinion.
Well, they have to figure out they're not trying to figure the formula out that takes them that other place.
Already in one, but the thing about it, man, the formula, was it was given to me from birth. Just like Bushwick said when he had an interview, shout out to Bushwick with Nardward in Austin, he said, Ganxsta Nip, you wasn't going to get no other style. No, they asked him, did Nip create horrorcore? Bushwick said no. He said Ganxsta Nip is horrorcore. Right. You wasn't going to get no other style. Right. And that's just real talk. I wasn't going to rap any other way. Right. So it was just made for me.
Yeah, Nip is the formula, man, and it shows because you talking about, again, mid to late '80s up into the early '90s. Now moving further into the '90s, you start to see other artists come out from different regions and different parts of the country and parts of the world that have been heavily influenced by Ganxsta Nip, by South Park Coalition, and 3-6 Mafia always comes to mind. And I remember the time you and Blank, y'all called me, and y'all were at Numbers, and Club Numbers, and 3-6 Mafia was at Club Numbers, and I think Blank contacted you, because Blank was like, man, 3-6 here, they want to meet Nip. They want to meet me. And we went to the spot, and Willie D was there too. And
I have those pictures too.
Now these guys, you talking about guys who have not only platinum records, but also have Grammy Awards. Yeah. I think they win the Academy Award for the music.
I think for
Grammy.
The movie.
Right, but the point I'm making is that when we got in that room, the room was no bigger than this. We was backstage at the spot. When we got in that room, those guys, they was like little kids to be in the presence of Point Blank, Ganxsta Nip, Willie D, myself. They was acting like we was the ones with the Grammys and the Academy Awards and all that because the influence. But the point I'm really making is that I feel like it was more centered towards Nip with them. Because when you listen to their early stuff, they had those evil sounds and the bass line, kind of that South Park sound that Dopey in Egypt created, and the styles that Nip was spitting on, and what is it like, man, to know that you had an influence on artists who went on to reach that kind of level of success, man, and they still pay homage, because it's not just them, it's a lot of other groups.
Yeah. And I met a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, Reno, man, first of all, Reno, you pretty good at this radio thing.
Hey, man, I'm learning.
I'm pretty good at this radio
I'm learning,
thing.
man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say that. Shout out to Reno Murder
I've been around people like my man Kerm, you know what I'm saying? And, Bobby Fats and Matching Dollars. I'm learning, man.
You got it. But, it really feels good, Reno, when they say it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of cats, they don't really like to give people props, so they won't say it. Shout out to the whole 3-6 Mafia camp, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? Lord Infamous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cuz they said it. Just like shout out to my homie Bazaar from D12.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He'll say it.
Right.
Years
you know
ago.
what I'm saying? He just actually said it about 2 weeks ago when he did an interview in Dallas. Shout out to Bazaar again, and when you pay homage like that, I can't do number have have love for you, because I love Triple Six anyway,
Yeah.
But to hear them just to give me my props when they have a Grammy,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? When I'm, at that day I probably had about $36 in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Minus 26.
Being real.
You know what I'm saying? So, it
Yeah.
is what it is, it's just a blessing, That's why we still here, man, because we walk in, humility, man,
Yeah. And
we just
speaking
normal people.
and speaking of that, so we move up further. 92. I know me and you. We started this on this walk the same time, the same day. So when you came into the nation and the Nation Islam and came into those teachings, man, that was a life changing experience for you and for me. But at a young age, we talking like 22, 23 years old.
Mm.
What was that whole situation like, transitioning from just being a regular nip from South Park to receiving some teachings and hearing some knowledge that just blew both our wigs off and changed your life and sent your life in a different direction? And you're thinking.
When you hear Brother Robert, Brother Abdul Halim Muhammad, you hear the minister, you can't help but to be blown away, and it's kind of addictive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You start hearing that knowledge, and it just, if you're willing to receive it, it'll go into your body. It'll be like a spiritual drug,
Right.
without the drugs.
Right.
But I just love, to hear it, and I like the discipline that that they was portraying. And I still love it today. Shout out to Mosque 45.
No
What I'm
doubt.
saying, Brother Abdul Halim Muhammad.
No doubt. No doubt.
And all the believers.
Yeah, all around the world, man, no question. And it's funny because now here we are years and years and years later, and not many people have been able to hear the material that I've heard and Murder have heard, and the few people that you've allowed to hear it. The Brother Nip projects that have just shown a transformation from the gangster nip, the psycho nip, into more of that spiritual awakening, but it's still nip. So how did that come about? When did the whole brother nip level kick in for you, and you decide to say, man, look, this is what I'm doing now, as opposed to, or in addition to, still holding it down on the hardcore side?
Well, being a hardcore rapper, man, that's a wicked style. If you don't have that balance, it could take it could take over you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So listen to Brother Robert. I keep saying Brother Robert, but Brother Abdul Halim Muhammad. Listen to the minister. Man, I can't help it.
Right.
The balance just came about. You hear the minister say, "Man, we need some conscious lyrics."
Right.
So I couldn't just keep, doing hardcore. I just wanted people to know that it was a, the caring side.
Yeah.
That was Rowdy Williams.
Right.
Brother Nip is Rowdy Williams. Ganxsta Nip is me.
Right. and you got to care about the people too. You can't, because what people don't know is, man, it's a great sacrifice to go conscious. It's a great sacrifice because that style, that I won't say style, that type of music isn't always financially lucrative. Yeah, and it's not appealing to some. It's a turn off to some people because they like, man, I don't want to hear all that. They want to party, they want to dance, they want to take their mind off of what's the problems that's going on in the world. When in reality, the conscious music is the real medicine to that. So how have you been able to balance, or have you ever even come in contact with a conflict in terms of people saying, man, we don't want that, we want the old nip? Have you come into contact with that? And if so, how have you been able to kind of deal with that, the people who want to keep you in
Locked
the past?
up and, well, that's why I tried it on the Brother Nip album, Street Messiah. You can get that on iTunes, Soldiers Only also. But man, I try to still come with the same beats.
Right.
You know, keep it street.
Right.
That's why I call myself the Street Messiah, Brother Nip, the Street Messiah. I try to keep it still hard, still nip. So, you know, they might be hearing consciousness, but they still can hear that G nip in it.
Right.
Even though it's no cursing but you still can feel the fire.
Well, I could speak personally. I've heard mostly all of the songs, and it's still hard. It's still super, super hard. And if you really, when you listen to the songs, you're not even aware that it's not no cussing in it. You realize later, like, man, he ain't even cussing that because it's still so rough, but it's teaching at the same time. So whenever y'all hear the Brother Nip side, I can guarantee you, you're not gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be real, real happy just as happy as you was when you was listening to the Ganxsta Nip. That's just my personal opinion on that. And Murder, you heard a lot of the stuff too.
Man, all the stuff he had, plus the newest one today, I just got out the car with him. So I think he went all the way back from 85, 86 with that one.
Yeah, man.
Wait till we don't hear that. You know,
Well, I was, yeah, no question, man. Me and Greek, we was talking about the Pizza Man last night. You know what I'm saying? So that's coming soon. We ain't gonna spoil y'all, man. But how many albums you got right now? How many albums have you put out? Just even the ones that are not out. How many titles do you have to date right now?
Probably about 13, you know.
Yeah, see that's a strong catalog, man. That's a lot of people didn't last that long, and now you're doing everything independent. You have your own record label. Tell everybody what record label is.
Yes, sir. You know, the record label is called Psych Ward Entertainment. You know, but I'm also getting Brother Nip his own record label, which is Street Messiah Records.
Yeah, I take
Right.
For Brother Nip. So, you know, he's gonna be dropping on that. So I'm just gonna try to occupy two labels at the same time, you know, for two different styles. You know.
Right. Okay, well, what we're going to do now, man, we're going to take a phone call, man. If y'all want to call in, the number to call in is 713-526-KPFT. We live with Ganxsta Nip right now. Let's take a call, y'all. Caller, you there? Caller, can you hear me? They hung up?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, if y'all want to call in, man, the number to call in is 713-526-KPFT.
Oh, he got it.
No question. And Ganxsta Nip, man, he's here, man. Ganxsta Nip, Psycho Nip, Brother Nip, they all in the building tonight, man.
Hey, I know you're moving forward, but I want to move back.
Yeah, go ahead,
One
man.
thing, Nip was also one of the first out of the organization had the song do be on the radio at that time.
Okay, we
you
got
know,
it.
Damn Shame with Dale Bradley and all that. So
Rest in peace, Dale Bradley.
my question is, when you did it, how do you feel about doing that song at that time, where a moment people were kind of sad and kind of drummified with what was going on?
See, and that's how you know right there that the Brother Nip was in me the whole time.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a you know, conscious song that was, you know, that was serious at the time. You know, our brother, you know what I'm saying, had passed away, and you know, rest in peace to him right today.
Right.
You know, rest in peace to Lil Fred. Rest in peace to AC Chill. You know, so you know, the Brother Nip was just there. You know, sometimes, man, you know, we have to, you know, move away from what we like to have fun doing, and go ahead and just speak what, you know, the real, you know, at that moment in time.
Gotcha.
You know, so that was just a moment for me.
Yeah.
You know,
But I mean, it was a real song, man.
Yeah, it was a big moment.
Like I said, we talking 91, and in the wake of a lot of destruction that was going on in the hood, still going on. A lot of the stuff we seeing now is not new. We've been dealing with it. It's just that the internet has kind of made it where you can see everything instantly.
Yeah, it brought it to the
and
forefront.
everybody at the same time. But we're gonna take this caller, man. I think we got the caller back, so we're gonna go ahead and go live with the caller. You there? What's going on? Who am I speaking with?
What's up, D?
D is in the building. Oh man, thank you, man. I mean, the check is in the mail, man. Appreciate you, D.
Again, for Reno, similar to one on three of you. First off, I want to thank you for all the years of the music. I mean, your music has got me through some really difficult times, and I'm eternally grateful for that. And I do want to ask a question. It's actually a question for Nip and for Reno. Nip, if you had to pick one of Reno's tracks, like your all-time favorite, what would that be? And I have the same question for Reno for a Nip track.
Let me answer mine first, then. I'll let them go last. I mean, I got so many, man, but just the theme song for me was the song Psycho from the first Nip album.
Yep.
Because when that beat come on, man, oh
I
man,
agree.
before he even come in, you want to slap somebody.
I agree.
You know, plain and simple, man. That's a dangerous. You have to really have a hold of yourself, man, to listen to that old Nip, man. But the song Psycho itself, because he was relentless on that song. Every line, every bar was off with your head, man. So that would be mine, man.
Man, man, I don't know, man. Besides, okay, Dana, besides all of them, you know what I'm saying? It have to be the war in South Park, man.
Yeah.
Another
good one.
Man.
That war in South Park. Down, 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 man.
And we got a surprise coming for y'all too on that note too, but we ain't gonna tell y'all right now.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Reno, the way he orchestrated, you have to understand, Reno was the narrator on that particular song. And it's seven, eight, 9 people on the song. And to narrate for 7, 8, 9 people, in order to bring them in, properly at their specific times, like when he brought me in, what's up, K? What's up with you? The 7th serious psychopath, South Park Psycho to the rescue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knew how to bring people in, you know what I'm saying, due to their strengths.
You alright? Well, get up. I'm laying on the ground hurting. Like, get up.
Right there.
So Reno, he just orchestrated that one, man. I mean, what can I say? It's so many, man. Come on, man.
Yeah,
You got
hard to
anything
just
else? You got
pinpoint
anything
one.
else, D?
So many, man.
No, man, I appreciate all three of you guys. Again, thank you, and great show.
Oh no, thank you, D. We appreciate the phone call. Call
Already.
anytime, man. And I mean, shout out, man, to the homie D. Shout out to everybody in Oklahoma City, man, because the one thing about it, like the backtrack what we was talking about from when Nip would feature us on his projects before any of us had records out, that exposed us to places like Oklahoma, Mississippi, California, Kentucky, all these different places where people know us now are, in my opinion, just a result of the seeds that was planted when we was able to feature on Nip's album, which had worldwide distribution at the time. So again, we thank my brother Ganxsta Nip for giving us that platform, because that was a springboard, man. Because I went on a promo tour shortly after that to promote my first album in '93, and everywhere I went, every store we went to, Nip's albums was already on the shelves. And the people already knew me and knew us because of the fact that they would say, "Oh, you the one that was on the Nip.
Yeah.
You was the one." So that was a bed that had already been made up for us.
Yeah.
And made for me because of my brother from way back then. And whether he knew that it would have that impact then, it still had that impact.
Yeah, and that time for y'all kind of takes me back, because I remember just hearing about you guys coming up, you know what I'm saying, as far as me being in the music scene, already in the R&B.
Black Cat,
Yeah,
Park,
and I'm hearing about you guys coming up, man, and that was really great, man.
No doubt, man, no doubt. Nip, I want to ask you, man, again, if y'all want to call in, number 713-526-KPFT, I want to talk about AC for a minute, man, because looking at what all the things that we're doing now, looking at how the game has changed and evolved now, and coupling that with how hard we knew AC was. AC was so hard. AC passed away in 2005.
So smooth.
Smooth on
I just want to
radar.
ask your opinion, and I'm gonna ask Murder the same question too. How do you think AC would be right now if he was still here right now in this digital age? Without it, he would probably have AC would be on right now if he was still here. AC chill. That's what we talking about, y'all.
First of all, rest in peace, AC. You know,
Already.
ain't my arena, Uncle Jim, man. You know, first of all, but AC would be right in here with us right now.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a
You
fact.
know, so I mean, AC, you know, would be just as good as any one of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was so smooth. You know what I'm saying? He was so smooth with his rhymes and so hard. He was just smooth hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like a you know a perfectly running faucet. Nothing wrong with it.
And that voice,
But
man.
that water so hot though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
AC had them lyrics, man. AC was cold.
It's an AC
You know what I'm
chill.
saying?
The lyricist ice cold, but kicking rhymes hot enough to melt the whole North Pole. You just remember the lyrics, and it's crazy because AC and Nip, they was like Batman and Robin back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I started hanging out with them. See, when me and Nip had our battle, I didn't know who AC was. Y'all knew him because y'all was at Jones. I was at Sterling. But I started hanging out with Nip. Then Nip brought me around AC. So in my mind, I'm like, man, this dude, they're hard. Who is this dude?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Solid assassin.
Just as hard as I was.
assassin.
I mean, and we just, we just all got so cool. So we always want to make sure that we acknowledge the fallen soldiers from our clique
Got to.
as well, because
Yeah.
we respect everybody else that we lost in our city, but we got to make sure that we keep our guys uplifted along
That's
with
right.
people like Big Mello, and guys who people the city tend to forget about and don't mention on a regular basis. But we're gonna take another call real quick. Go ahead, caller. Holla at me. What's going on, my man? Speak to me. Dre Black,
Dre
I'm
Black.
good, my brother.
Dre
Thank
Black.
you for
Right, Jay
calling
Black.
in.
What's up, man? I hear you. What's going on with it?
Yeah. I just want to say, man, I like what you do. You know, Cal, every time I see you, man, you know, I always say this, man, you do it for the community, you do it for the people, man. You're so real. It's wild, though. You're so powerful. How come you can't fly yet?
Oh man, I can.
Dre Black. He flying.
He flying
man.
already.
They just beneath the
Have you heard his
airplane.
new album?
Like a stilt.
I can't do it in front of people, man. I might get called out.
Mightier
Nah,
than
I'm
the sword.
great. I like what you do and everything. I see you got Dip on the show. I grew up on all that stuff.
No
Really,
doubt.
on some real stuff, though, SPC was the first ones. Because I remember it was rap a lot. They were doing their thing with them artists, and South Park Coalition had a whole other stuff going on all the other side of town. So I was banging all that K-Rino, Terrorist, Ganxsta, Clown Eye Cat.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it. I remember just engulfing myself in it. Like, wow, man, this music's incredible.
Man,
Because I came from a rock and roll background
Right.
to a rap background, and I learned how to MC real quick because I had musical talent. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of neat to see all this unfold in front of my eyes. Like, man, these guys are incredible, man. But I had to shoot you a shout out, man. I've been listening to you lately, and I know you're worldwide. I know a lot of people are listening right now, but man, you're incredible what you do, okay? You inspire me every day. Just to let you know.
oh man, well we thank you, man.
Hey, yeah,
I'm glad
already,
you got
man.
Nip on the show. I ain't seen Nip in years, but man, Nip.
I'm
I know
here.
I don't know if you remember or not. Straight Black, I ran you with Dope E about 15 years ago. I ran you. We kicked it for a minute, but yeah, man. So I had to give much love and a shout out to the entire SBC and K. I like what you're doing.
Oh man, thank you, brother. Appreciate that love, man.
Already, Dre
Already,
Black.
man.
Call in anytime, Dre Black. We appreciate the love, man, and the support. We got people that been rocking with us, like he said, 15 plus years for decades, man, and that's a blessing, man. So again, Thank you for calling, man. We appreciate you, Dre Black.
Already.
God bless, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, y'all are hearing it, man. I mean, it's the South Park Coalition. We've been blessed with a great legacy, a great history, man. And really, we steady making new history every day. So we don't ever want people to think the people who may not have heard us in a while or heard anything from us in a while, you're not looking hard enough. Because people ask me about Nip all the time. I mean, look, Nip
Still
is
working.
on a he's on a greater pace than he was then.
Yeah.
Just like all of us are, but a lot of people don't know. Nip just go into the lab, man. Him and D-Tag, and they go in the lab and they just bang them out. It's his pace is greater than it was then, because even in the 90s, he'd drop an album. How many albums did you do on Rap A Lot?
Like about 5 or 6.
5 or 6, probably within a what? Or maybe 8 to 10 years.
About 8 years.
Okay, so but I know for a fact in the last 3 or 4 years, he's probably recorded 7, 8, 9 albums worth of material just in the last 3 or 4 years, because I'm hearing it every Sunday after the mosque. So his pace is picked up and he's in control of it. I want to ask you real quick, man, if you could go back to say maybe 1990, 1991, I'll say 1990, knowing everything that you know now, how would your whole life be different, and what would you change, if anything at all? Just you Nip right now, you go back to 1990 and talk to the 20-year-old Nip, how would that make a difference if you would change anything at all?
Well, only thing I would get him, more spiritually, in God. I would give him God. But in reality, I mean, I wouldn't change nothing, because if I would, I wouldn't be as strong as I am, now.
Right.
I always told myself, when I look in the mirror and I stop liking what I see, then it's over for me. You know what I'm saying? So being in the nation, keep a brother strong. I'm 48 years old, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Looking like I'm 28, still
on,
serious.
Right.
Welcome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Still
Yes,
psyched
sir.
out. Ain't nothing changed, man. So I would just put the spirituality, inside the young brother, and make sure, he didn't do some of the things, that he's done. But I wouldn't change anything, because, brother's still here, still strong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And also, man, we want to shout out to everybody in the ARC, man. All this respect.
Already, man.
Nip is
ARC.
a foundational piece of an organization we put together with the help of Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, Cliche, myself, Murder, Ganxsta, Nip, Black Cat. We just all are trying to make the community better through our music, through our art. So anybody that's interested in the ARC, y'all need to get at us, man. We say the best part for last. We say the best part for last as we wind it up, man. Everybody always talk about the Ganxsta Nip K-Rino battle that took place way back in the days, man, about 30-something years ago, man. and I'm going to speak on my part real quick, and I'm going to let Nip have the floor, and we'll take one more caller. But all I can remember was, man, it was just like, it was just coming to a head, man. Everybody said, man, these dudes got to go on and settle this. They got to go on and settle this, man. Both these dudes think they the hardest in South Park, man. And it was funny because I wasn't going to his school to battle him. That was suicide. He wasn't coming to my school to battle me. So we met right in the middle on Belford and Martin Luther King at the world famous battleground, man.
Right.
And after that battle, such a great level.
If we
of
had much
respect.
time, y'all could go on battle in here
That's
right
what I'm about
now.
to say.
I ain't
Part
look,
2.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Who won?
I didn't want to mess with
Nip,
him.
y'all can go on and do it right now.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't want to mess with him then. It's just pride. It's like, okay, I gotta stand my ground. But
Yeah.
the funny thing about that, real quick, is that when the battle was over, of all those people that was out there, that's standing out there in that circle that day, cold and rainy and drizzly, it was just a crazy day. When everybody dispersed, me and Nip started walking in the same direction. So it's like
Crazy.
awkward.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this dude? We going to say
They came
we
to
ended up
battle,
going to
but
the same
yeah.
bus stop.
They
We
done
sitting
walked
at the
out
same
together.
bus stop, so we couldn't do nothing but sit at the bus stop and basically just laugh like, man, that was crazy.
That was crazy, yeah.
You know, and we've been tight ever since, man.
That's what's up. That's how brotherhood is formed, man.
That's, man, that's how steel sharpens steel, man. You have to understand though, you know, back then, you couldn't battle unless you went through Murder One.
Yeah.
So Murder One was the Don King.
Man,
no
tried.
doubt.
I just said that in my song. Look, y'all know I just dropped my new album, The Creator of Horrorcore, yesterday. And I have the song on the album, The Battle of the Gods. That's the battle between me and K-Rino.
Wow.
You know, and you have to hear it because it's in movie form. That's why you have to hear it before you go, Reno.
I bear witness.
I just
I bear
let
witness that.
Murder hear it.
Wow.
And
was overhearing it.
I talked about Murder, man, and it's just telling the truth, but it's just in a aerodynamic form. Cause after what you told on the story you told, Reno, it was nothing else I can do. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to make make it like a sci-fi.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Even though you'll still feel the form of the battle.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
it's just, man, I don't know, man. I mean, when it
It's
started raining,
unexplainable in ways, man.
man, it started raining out there. We was going so hard. I think the kinetic energy from both of us, just made it rain.
And it was crazy because you know how, like, when they talk about Will Chamberlain when he scored 100 points in that game, and everybody was talking about how they was there. 1 million people said they was there, but the stadium didn't hold but 4,000 people. That's how that battle was. So, man, I remember when you and Nip was battling. I'm like, fool, you ain't but 25. How you know about that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just one of those, great events. Like I say, back in the days, with no cameras.
Just perpetuated
If
itself,
that happened
man.
today, it'd have been all on YouTube. That'd have been 1 million views.
But
man.
the tense moment was seeing you getting off that bus. Because we was already in our area, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yeah, y'all already set up.
We sit there waiting, trying to see what's coming. And he coming off the bus. He was like a
soldiers.
yeah, it was going on.
And K-Rock Def was there, man. Just, K-Rock
Y'all waiting
Def
like an old breakdance
celebrating,
contest back in the
man.
Yeah,
gap.
all that trying to see which way he coming. Don't know how he coming.
Yeah.
And then he come walking out that bus. Oh man.
But we gonna take one last call before we shut it down. Let's get this last call in. Caller, you there? Who am I speaking with? Go ahead, my brother.
Long time fan, man. I've been a fan since. Man, when I heard y'all brothers, man, I never forget, man. My brother came down from Virginia. You were bumping that Terror CD.
Wow.
Man,
Shout out to Dope E.
The
Yes,
first
sir.
Terror CD, and we heard y'all on South Park.
Man.
That first CD, man, I just never forget how Point Blank came in, you came in, Nip came in.
Wow.
No beat ended that.
Wow.
Man, ever since then, we've been a fan.
Man.
I
Man.
remember going in the but it was a record store and Nip CD. I remember seeing Nip CD. It was the Penthouse Players and Nip. And I remember, damn, I heard this guy Nip. And I remember me and my boy Kevin, we talk about this all the time. When I first played your CD, man, I got scared as hell. Am I supposed to be listening? I think I was in the junior, sophomore, junior high school. And my homeboy said, hey, man, we ain't supposed to be listening to no song like this, man. This man talking about,
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah.
we was like, man, this man talking about some all-land
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man, I promise you, man.
That's
man,
crazy.
Ever since then, that was just history. And I remember going to this other store, and I saw Point Blank and K-Rino. That's what I do, man. And I remember my senior year in high school, man, we used to go down and bump Point Blank and K-Rino. Everybody here was bumping radio hits. And they was like, because we, back then, we had some, I had 2 house speakers in my car. And my homeboy hooked it up, and he had an amp. And he hooked it up with the amp. Man, K-Rino, you had so much bass in that first amp.
Ain't no way.
Yeah. That first one probably wasn't even mixed and mastered right. Hey, but we thank you, man. We wrapping up, man. But we appreciate that history, man, and we appreciate your call, man. And you welcome to call in anytime. We here every week at 11. And just thank you for the love you showing us, for the love you showing Nip, big brother. So appreciate the call, family.
Yes, sir. Man, get it. That's gonna take you back to South Park Psycho, man.
Thank you, sir. Tell them where they can get your music, Nip, real quick before we wrap it up.
Well, everybody, the Creative Hardcore is out. You can get it at iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and any digital store. And shout out to my producer D-Tag. I love you so much. Prez and J.K. Jordan King.
Thank y'all for listening to K-Rino Radio, man. See y'all again next week.
Hey, we out of here, man.
One love. Yeah.